his mind constantly engaged in remembering Krishna, undeviated from the path, O Partha, is sure to reach Krishna. So Krishna says, whoever remembers Krishna, always completely engaged in his service, definitely will go back to the Lord. So what is the analogy given in that purport? Does anyone know the example given? Of a caterpillar?
Yeah, caterpillar.
What is it, Prabhu?
Mataji, as the caterpillar thinks of becoming a butterfly, so it is able to become in the same life. Similarly, if we also keep thinking of Krishna, we will also attain him.
Yes, very good. So a caterpillar keeps on thinking, no, it has to become a butterfly in this life, in the same life, he will become a butterfly. So similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives, we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. That means mukti, moksha. So that's why Prabhupada says, thinking about Krishna means always chanting the holy name, remembering Krishna by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So 8.9 to 13 is remembering Krishna through meditation. So we'll see that. And remembering Krishna by pure bhakti is 14 to 16. And 17 to 20 is about the material world versus spiritual world. Okay. So 8.9 is a different way to remember Krishna. Kavim Puranam Anushashitaram Anor Aniyamsham Anusmaredya Sarvasya Dataramachintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parasta. So we should meditate Krishna as the one who knows everything and who's the oldest, who's a controller, who's smaller than the smallest, who's maintainer of everything, who's beyond all material conception, who's inconceivable, and who's always a person. He's luminous like a sun. He's transcendental beyond this material nature. Okay. So how should we meditate Krishna? As the one who is knowing the past, present, and future. Who's the oldest? Who's the beginless or the oldest? Controller of everything, smaller than the smallest, maintainer of everything. Yeah? Krishna maintains everything. And he's with a beautiful personal form. He has a rupa and luminous like the sun, transcendental to material nature. Okay, so this is how we should remember Krishna. Even though Krishna is the oldest, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is Navayavanamcha. He's what do you say, in the age of 16. So because he doesn't have aging like us, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, he doesn't have that. So this is how we should remember Krishna, it is said. And 10th sloka says, Prayana Kale Manasa Chalena Bhaktya Yukta Yoga Balera Chaiva Dhruvar Madhye Pranan Avesha Samyak Satam Param Purusham Upedi Dityam. So one who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviated mind engage himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what a yogi does, like holding the air, prana between the eyebrows, the chakra, practicing yoga. But actually yoga balena it is said. But then the best is the bhakti yoga. And importance of practicing bhakti yoga is that Prabhupada writes in the purport, the particular use of the word yoga balena is significant. Means without practice of yoga, whether Shat Chakra yoga or bhakti yoga, one cannot come to the transcendental state of being at the time of death. So yoga has to be practiced. Either Ashtanga yoga or Shat Chakra yoga, bhakti yoga has to be practiced. So that's why we are called as what? The devotees who are practicing devotional service are called as? Does anyone know?
Bhakti yogi.
Bhakti yogi or?
Sadhaka bhaktas, Mataji.
Sadhaka, yeah, very good. So what do we mean by sadhaka?
Following the rules and
regulations. Rules and regulations, right? So does anyone know the types of sadhana bhakti?
Sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti.
Vaidhi, yes, very good.
Bhakti.
And one more.
Sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti. Raganuga bhakti.
Yes, Raganuga. Okay. Okay. So these are the two types of bhakti. In sadhana bhakti means devotional service in practice. We are actually practicing. That's why we are called sadhakas. Okay, bhakti yogis, but bhakti yogis are different types. It can be a prema bhakti yogi, a bhava bhakti, or sadhaka bhakti. So we are sadhakas. And in sadhakas, there are 5: Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. So, sadhana bhakti means devotional service and practice. You are practicing devotional service. And Vaidhi sadhana bhakti means following the rules and regulations according to the spiritual master. There is a guru. Okay. And when the attraction becomes spontaneous, it is Radha Ananda Bhakti. So here it is said, whatever yoga system it is, we have to practice it. And one cannot suddenly remember Krishna at the time of death. One must have practiced yoga system for a particular time, and especially the system of Bhakti Yoga. Since one's mind at death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through the yoga during one's life. So, what about Ajamila? It is said one cannot suddenly remember Krishna at the time of death. So, what about Ajamila?
Mataji, for Ajamila, his whatever he had done before falling down, all that has come into picture at the time of death. What practice that he had done before. Though he
And
fell
also,
down.
Mataji, he had the practice of calling his son for those years. So
Okay, so one reason is, as Padmaji Mataji said, yes, so that is one thing, that whatever devotional service he has done before, okay, in the sense, before meeting the prostitute. So that actually saved him. Salpamapyasa dharmasya trayade mahadopaya. Definitely, it is not lost. It is definitely there. And as Balaji Prabhu said, yes, he didn't mean the Lord, he meant his son. He called out his son, Narayan, right? In Nama Abhas stage. And that actually saved him. And he was so attached to the son that he kept on calling Narayan, Narayan. And he said, when he named his son Narayan itself, so many sin of his janmas went away. So, constantly he started calling Narayana. Okay. Okay, so that is one thing which Ajamila has done. So, and Ajamila didn't get liberation just like that, no? He got a second chance. And he went to Haridwar and did devotional service. Okay, that also we should take into account. And yes, so it was whatever devotional service he had done in his childhood actually helped Ajamila. And he didn't remember Krishna as such. He was calling out his son, but even that saved. Okay, so does anyone know how the Yavanas, the meat eaters, will they be delivered? How will they be delivered? This question was asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur gave a beautiful reply in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, the meat eaters, okay, they don't chant the holy name. So how will they be delivered? Okay, so when they eat meat, they say a word, no? What is the word they say before killing an animal?
haram, I think.
Yes. So they say haram. Okay, so when they say that, it seems that Lord Ram will cut that ha and take it as Hey Ram, okay, instead of haram. So when they say haram, or in case some animal is coming to kill them, or all these meat eaters, so what happens? They say haram. So it is said when they say that, the Lord take it as Hey Ram, because there is a Ram word in that. And that's the mercy of the Lord, that even though you don't mean the Lord, still you get the benefit and they'll get delivered. So this is what Haridas Thakur replied. So even they will get delivered because they utter the name of the Lord unknowingly. That is Ajnata Sukriti. Since one's mind at the death is very disturbed, yeah, so we have to practice the yoga, then only we'll be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. Okay. And so 11 and 13 is about requirement of practicing the Shat Chakra Yoga. Actually, this is not prescribed in Kali Yuga, but Krishna is just giving an option for those who don't want to do Bhakti Yoga. Krishna is giving an option. And later on, Krishna himself will say that this process are very difficult. Yadaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Vishanti Yatayo Vida Raga Ichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. So he is going to describe the Shat Chakra Yoga in the slokas, that who enters into the impersonal Brahman, okay, renunciation without attachment. There should be celibacy or brahmacharya. Knowledge of the Vedas are important, and they have to utter the syllable Om. Okay, Om and the Mahamantra. Krishna says he is Om, right? Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, Krishna says. So if he is Om, why there is no Om in Hare Krishna Mahamantra?
Both are same, right, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
And Mataji, he is the source of Om, so he himself is there.
He himself
the
is
name
there.
is same. So when we're the
Krishna
name
is-
and Krishna and his name is same. So when we're calling
Yes.
him directly means it we're also calling Om.
Yeah, so that means Hare Krishna, Om is Krishna, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra already contains Krishna, or in the sense there are 4 Krishna names chanted, right? So somebody asked Prabhupada, is Krishna in the holy name? So what did Prabhupada reply?
He said, no, Krishna himself is or holy name is Krishna.
Yeah, so Prabhupada said Krishna is not in the holy name, Krishna is the holy name. So that means Abhinatvam Nama Namina. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddham Nityamuktam Abhinatvam Nama Namina. Abhinatvam. There is no difference between Nama and Nami. Okay, Nama and Namina. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So Om is already included in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so need not add Om. Okay, so the Vedic system, the students have to learn to vibrate Om and learn of impersonal Brahman. But in modern system, there is no celibacy possible. Lord Chaitanya preaches according to the instructions of Kali Yuga, and only Yuga Dharma is the holy name. Since I'm not keeping so well, so I will conclude soon, but I'll try to complete at least half of the chapter today. Okay, so sorry for that. So we'll just go through these slokas. So here in the 12th sloka it is mentioned, Sarvadvarani samyamya manokriti nirudhyacha mrudani adhyatmana pranam astito yoga dharanam. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagement, closing all doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head, one establish himself in yoga. So what do? They control the air, and then the life air is going to the top of the air of the head. So does anyone know, like, these yogis, how they leave the body?
They leave through the Ajna Chakra.
So which is that part, Prabhu? Like basically most prominently?
Head, Mataji, top of the head.
No, top of the head. Yeah, on top of the head. So once there was a yogi, and they were, at the end after death, they give a bath to the body, right? So they were giving bath in order to cremate him. So later on, when they washed his head, they saw there was a blood stain on the top of the head. So that means whichever the blood stain, the soul can leave the body through the 9 gates, through eyes, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, genitals, rectum, all that, ears. So if there is any blood stain in these parts, it is said the soul have left the body through that part. So since they didn't see any blood stains anywhere else, but it was on top of the head, they concluded that he has gone for samadhi. In the sense, he was a yogi and he could control the air. He even predicted that he's going to leave at this particular time. So they put him in samadhi because he was a great yogi. But then what happens? These yogis still, even though they go to the brahmachoti, the soul, they can't get the real liberation, right? So they become devotees next life because it's not complete. Even if they go to samadhi, it depends on what they have meditated. If they meditated on just the life air, if they meditated on the Supreme Lord, definitely they go back. They don't come back. But here it is said that it's very difficult to do this in Kali Yuga. So that's why it is said in Lord Chaitanya says, preach according to the injunctions for Kali Yuga. The only Yuga Dharma is holy. Hare Namaiva Kevala. Om Brahman and Krishna are non-different. An impersonal sound of Krishna is Om, and Hare Krishna already contains Om. If anyone quits the body chanting Hare Krishna, he goes to the spiritual planet. Om idi ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yat prayadi tejanteham sayadi paramam gati. So after being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality God and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Okay, so somebody thinking of Krishna at that particular time definitely will go back to Krishna. But that needs constant practice. It's not easy otherwise. So what is the requirement for practicing the Shat Chakra Yoga is that in the Vedic system of knowledge, the students from very beginning, they are taught to vibrate Om, learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master, right? And for a complete celibacy like the Gurukul system. This practice is very essential for the students advancing in spiritual life. But the moment such brahmacharis life is not at all possible unless one practices celibacy. Advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the scriptural injunctions, for this age of Kali, there is no other process of realizing the Supreme except chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So, and also they say, what are the requirements needed? We have to close all the door of senses, withdrawing the senses, fixing the mind on the heart, fixing prana on top of the head, taking shelter of Krishna completely. Actually, that is complete samadhi, okay, taking shelter of Krishna. The Prabhupada writes, this practice is not practical in this age of Kali Yuga. The best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, then it's very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi. So to fix the mind in Krishna means the easiest is to do devotional service with all your senses. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So 14 to 16 is about remembering Krishna through Bhakti Yoga. Okay. Ananya Cheta Sadatam Yo Mam Smaradi Nityasaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yukta Sayoginaha. For one who always remember Krishna without deviation, Krishna is easy to obtain. O son of Tirtha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So if you remember Krishna without deviation, then it is easy to attain Krishna. Okay. But that is Ananya Bhakti, like completely into Bhakti Yoga. This verse describes the final destination of the unlearned devotees who serve the Supreme Lord in Bhakti Yoga. Their final destination is easy, sulabha, to obtain Krishna because there is no material impediments in devotional service. Only qualification is sincere desire to advance. Tatra laulyam, vimulya kevalam, koti janma sukritana lappi. That sincere desire should be there to advance. In devotional service, Krishna gives intelligence on how to attain him. Tesham sadayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. Right? Krishna gives the buddhi yoga, how we can go back to Krishna. So pure devotional service is ananya cheta, ananya bhakti. Okay, without mixing jnana, karma, and hadeva. Very difficult to attain, but because most of us we do jnana mishrita bhakti or karma mishrita bhakti, but to reach the anyavilashta shunyam platform, that is without any material desire, is very difficult. Only Uttamadhikari does that. So pure devotee's desire is only to please Krishna. And Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charanamrita, says, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Adeva Shamda Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakala Shanda. See, Bhukti. Bhukti means somebody who wants all material desires, opulences. Okay. And Mukti, Moksha they want. Siddhi, all the Ashta Siddhis, Anima, Legima, all that. So they are very lusty and they cannot be peaceful because they want so many things. So they are Shanta. But Krishna Bhakta, the devotee, is desireless. Nishkama and Adeva Shanta. He is very peaceful. So you have to always, satatam, it is said, regularly, every day, we have to do devotional service, and refers to pure devotees constantly remembering Krishna and meditating on Krishna. So we have to create a Vrindavan platform. A pure devotee can create Vrindavan anywhere. Does anyone know this instant where Advaita Acharya tells to Mahaprabhu, like wherever you are, that's Vrindavan? Nobody reads Chaitanya Charitamrita. Never heard about it.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Sharanya Mataji.
When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, then Nityananda Prabhu somehow diverts the route and he comes to Shantipur, thinking Yamuna, Ganga as Yamuna. And when Advaita Acharya will come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will ask, hey Advaita Acharya, what are you doing in Vrindavan? Then Advaita Acharya will reply, this is not Vrindavan, this is Mayapur. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will say to will ask Nityananda Prabhu, why did you do like that? Then Advaita Acharya will tell, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu, like that.
Very good. So Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu deviates it, the route, and he reached Shantipur, which is Advaita Acharya's place. And Mahaprabhu seeing Yamuna, he will think seeing Ganges, he'll think it's Yamuna and he'll take a dip. And Advaita Acharya will be coming and saying that wherever you are, that's Vrindavan. Because Mahaprabhu thought that's Vrindavan, but that was not actually Vrindavan. Okay, so that is one thing. And so that means a pure devotee carries Vrindavan consciousness every day. Like Srila Prabhupada created Vrindavan all over the world by giving us temples and all. So 5 ways of Bhakti Yoga can be primary rasa, Shanta, Dasya, Satya, Valsalya and Madhurya. And great blessing of Krishna conscious process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that the pure devotees and Lord never forget each other even for a moment. Okay. So this is what a pure devotee can live anywhere and create atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. So that means a pure devotee carries. So Vrindavan is not just a place; it's actually a consciousness where there is always remembrance of Krishna. Satat Smartavyam Sadadam Vishnu, always remembering Krishna. So a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada has traveled all over the world and made temples all over the world. And wherever there's temples, that's Dham actually. That's like Vrindavan, Krishna is there. Krishna says, what is it? Naham tishtani vaikunta yoginam hridayeshuva tatra nishtani narada yatra gayan dimatbhakta. So when Narad Muni asked Krishna, where are you? He says, Naham tishtani vaikunta. I'm not in Vaikunta. Yoginam hridayeshuva. I'm not in the heart of the yogis. Then where is he? Tatra nishtani narada yatra gayanti matbhakta. Wherever my devotees talk about me, I reside there. So wherever Krishna's devotees talk about Krishna, Krishna is there. That means a temple where there is Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya happening. Or even at your home, wherever there is Bhagavatam, Bhagavadgita recited, Krishna definitely resides there. Mamupetya punar janma dukhalayam ashashudam naftavanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gada. After attaining Krishna, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So this material world is called Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Ashashvatam. It is temporary and it's Dukha Alayam. You get Dukha here. So such great souls who went back to Krishna, they will never come down because they never fall from the highest Vaikuntha planet. There is no return to this temporary world because temporary world is full of miseries. And there's Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Bhautik Kleshas, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, all problems. No? So the Mahatmas, they attain highest perfection. They go back to Krishna. Okay, they go to the supreme destination. So Prabhupada describes Mahatmas in the purport. Mahatmas receives transcendental message from the realized devotees and has gradually developed devotional service in Krishna consciousness. And they don't want to come back and they don't even want to be transferred to the spiritual sky. Because they are happy wherever they are. They want to serve Krishna and be in the association of Krishna, nothing else. The pure devotee is happy wherever he is. Narayana parasarvena kudasana bipiti swarga apavarga narigesha pitulyata darshana. He's happy even if he's in heaven, hell or moksha. He just wants to serve Krishna. 16th sloka, very important sloka, says, Abrahma bhuvanar loke punar avartino arjuna mamupedita kaundeya punar janmana vidyate. So from the highest planet in the material world, which is the highest planet in the material world? Material world. Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is also called as?
Satyaloka.
Satyaloka. So Satyaloka or Brahmaloka is the highest. Even if we go there, then Punaravartina Arjuna, there is Punaravartina, there is a repeated birth and death takes place. Mamupetita kaunde, but if you go back to Krishna, Punarjanma na vidyate, there is no coming back again, no more taking birth again. So from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asked that boon that I want to be immortal, Brahmaji said, even I have a lifespan. So right. So this material world is full of miseries, repeated birth and death takes place, but who attains Krishna's abode will never come back. So all kind of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha yogis, they have to come to Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's abode. But those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of demigods, are subjected to repeat birth and death. Shine punya martiloka vision, they have to come back. But even if you go to Brahma's log, still they have to come back. So Prabhupada says those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets. And at the time of universal devastation, they are transferred to the spiritual kingdom. When there is a devastation of material universe, Brahma and his devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desire. So the last section we'll see in today's chapter, the difference between spiritual world and material world. Okay. So if you see these calculations, the duration of this material universe, Sahasra Yuga Pariyandam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Te Aho Ratra Vido Janaha. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together forms the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So if you know, if you go from down, you can see Kali Yuga, there is 4,32,000 years. Okay, uska double into 2 is Dwapar Yuga, that is 8,64,000. Into 3, there is Kali Yuga into 3 is Treta Yuga. And Kali Yuga's duration into 4 is Satya Yuga. Okay, and one kalpa is like 1 day of Brahma, which is like equal to 12 hours of Brahma. That is 1 night of Brahma. Okay, like that's equal. And one kalpa is 1,000 yuga cycle. Each cycle has these 4 yugas. Okay, so one kalpa. 1 day is actually what? The 12 hours. Okay, and there is also 1 night also. So 1 day means this just the 12 hours. That's one kalpa. And here it is said one's lifespan of Brahma is 311 trillion 40 billion earth years. So insignificance of Brahma's lifespan is from the point of eternity, because he's not still gone to the spiritual world. So by this calculation, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it's just a lightning flash. The ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic Ocean. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. So even Brahma's life has a span, a lifespan. So in Brahmaloka, if we compare to the material planets, it's not free from birth, death, old age, and disease. But actually it says disease and old age is not there. Why? In heavenly planets. Birth and death is there, but disease and old age. Why? There is no disease and old age in heavenly planets.
Because the souls are going there with the good karmas there. So the dispensation of the good karma is that they get all the sukhas.
But old age is not because of dukkha. Okay, disease, I agree with you. It's because of your sinful. Disease, old age.
Maybe they don't have material bodies, Mataji.
Oh, good guess. They don't have material body, but they don't have a spiritual body either, right? They have a body which is neither material nor spiritual, but still it is material only, Mataji, because it's in the material world. Who is it? Shijit Prabhu got it right. Because they have drunk the somaras, they have drunk the amrita which had come from the churning of the milk ocean. Remember the pastime of Kurma Dev, where the Lord became a tortoise and the churning of the milk ocean on the Mandara mountain was used as the churning rod. And then churning of the milk ocean by the Devas and the Asuras and Devadas. And then the Amrita by Dhanvantari Murti came. And then it was like the Asuras were about to drink and Mohini Murti came. And all the demigods drank it. No? the Somaras or the Amrita actually they said. So, okay. So, where did we stop? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hi, Hare Krishna.
I have a doubt here. So that means disease and old age don't exist at all. Like Prabhupada says, everywhere in material planets, these 4 Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi they exist.
Actually, birth, death, old age.
Confused.
Yeah, actually, birth, death, old age, disease exists everywhere. But especially in those heavenly planets where the demigods reside. Because see, the demigods doesn't reside in all the material heavenly planets, right? Some planets, there are the different descriptions given. Nagaloka, so many other things. There it's there. But wherever this Somaras or the Amrita has been taken. But birth and death is definitely there. Still, that's a disease, no? That means there is a misery. So still it is there. But only for that it is specifically mentioned, especially the Amrita, whichever they have consumed. But what is the use? Even if there is disease, no disease and old age, death is there, right? Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Death will definitely take everything from them. So here it is said, who goes to the Brahmaloka? Elevated sannyasis. When they go to Brahmaloka, the fate of Brahma is there because of the service of the Lord, they get liberated because Brahma is also a devotee of the Lord. But what happens when they go to heavenly planets? They forget to do devotional service. And so much of happiness, enjoyment, sense gratification happens. So because of bhuta bhutva praliyate, again and again, they take rebirth again and again. So annihilation at Brahma's night, all living entities remain compact in the body of Vishnu, and again they get manifest at the arrival of the day. And the end of Brahma's life, all living entities remain unmanifest for millions of years, again to be manifest in another millennium. So what are the three types of annihilation and living entity experiences? At the time of death, every time he takes a body, and at the end of Brahma's day, and at the end of Brahma's life also. So there is annihilation. There's like partial annihilation and complete dissolution happening. So to take to Krishna consciousness is the best method. Intelligent people will take it, because use the human life fully in devotional service by chanting Hare Krishna, no more rebirth. Tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mamedi source. Now we can go back to Krishna. They transferred at the end of his life, this life, to the spiritual planet of Krishna, become eternally blissful. Okay, so that's what it is mentioned in the next slokas, that how they'll never come back. 20th and 21st sloka is about description of the spiritual world. How is the spiritual world described here? Eternal. Parastasmat Tubhavanyo Avyakto Avyakta Sanatanaha Yasa Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nashyashu Vinashyate. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter, and is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So that's the spiritual world. Spiritual world is eternal and it's free from birth and death. It's infallible because Krishna's supreme energy is there, which is opposite to material energy. It's full of unlimited bliss. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita compares the material world as what? Chapter 15.
Banyan tree.
Inverted banyan tree. Urta Moolamata Shakham. Yes. So it is just an inverted banyan tree. That means there's no real happiness here. And it fulfills all the desire, it's all attractive, but to the not to the devotees. And unmanifest to the mundane eyes. I mean, this spiritual world is all attractive. It's full of desires, in the sense there is desire trees in spiritual world. Okay. Chintamani pragrasal madhukalpa vriksha lakshavateshu surabir abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasrasa Samravasevamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Chintamani Pragrasal Madhukalpa Vriksha. It's like it is made up of Chintamani stones and Lakshavadeshu Surabir, the Surabhi cows, it's full of milk. Okay, and then there is Lakshmi Sahasrasa Samravasevamanam. Thousands of Lakshmis are serving Krishna. That's what the spiritual world is. And it is transcendental to manifest and manifest, difference from material world, repeatedly manifest and manifest. The Lord's abode never changes like the material world. Okay, and the supreme destination, a place there is no return in the spiritual world. But then, if they say there is no return, but how did we come then? We were in the spiritual world, no? So we have fallen. So what is the guarantee that we are not going to fall again? Krishna says, yes, no more return. But we have fallen, right?
Because as long as we want to serve Krishna, we are okay. When we want to become our self-Lord, then we fall down.
So do you mean after getting liberation, you go back to Krishna's world, again you will fall down? But Krishna says, no more falling down.
Mataji, we have now
Hare
learned
Krishna Mataji, Panchakrana Mataji, I guess we've never gone there. Like people.
We have come from there.
Okay.
We come from there. We have fallen from there. Because we were envious towards Krishna. We wanted to enjoy without Krishna. We had come from there. We were all in the spiritual world. We have fallen from the spiritual world.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Panchakranam. Once we have reached there, right, again, then we won't fall again, right, Mataji?
Yeah, what?
Now
why do you
now
say
we
so?
realize that we
Right.
are wrong. Like we are not realized that, right?
Huh?
Now we have realized that we have done something wrong and we want to go back now and we want to make the same mistake, right? If we make a mistake, we'll come down again.
So how many of you had burned your fingers or hands or legs when cooking in the kitchen? So might be, or when you are frying hot puris or whatever, papads or the boiling oil, and then you had a very severe burns. So next time when you go to the kitchen, you're extra careful, right? Like you don't, because you've already suffered that pain and the swelling and the boils, and so painful to have a burn. So whatever degree burns it is, but still the burns are burns. So that once you had that bad experience, you'll be extra cautious when you handle oil, boiling oil next time. So similarly, we had gone through all these repeated birth and death for 84 lakh species of life. Even though we forget because of Maya, our soul, the impression in the soul, it's still there. So once the soul had experienced all these, and the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego gone through all this, then you don't want to do it again. I mean, you don't want to experience it once more, right? You've already learned the lesson there. So as Balaji Prabhu said, yes, we have learned it, how hard it is, and so we'll never do the mistake again. But we had all come from there, yes, because of our ignorance, but then no more coming back. Why? Because once we have already gone through that particular stage. It says that a cat once fell in a hot water, so in the bucket of hot water. So next time when he see the cold water also, he's scared because he's thinking it's the hot water and it's going to burn him. So but you'll be extra cautious, like no more coming back. Okay. Well, that is one thing. So if you think like that, what about Jaya Vijayas? Jaya Vijayas were the Vaikuntha doorkeepers. They came to the material world, right? 3 Janmas. What about that?
Mataji, they are eternal associates of in Vaikuntha, and they have only and so they're only they're only playing the part of helping Krishna to
the Lord. That is pastime for the pastime purpose. Yes. So they just assist in the pastime. They come. Yes. Okay. So yes, that is one thing. And even the great acharyas like great Acharya Sri Prabhupada and the Gurujans, they are all eternally liberated souls. They have come with a special purpose as a request by the Lord. So the Lord sends his representatives. They have not come according to their bad karma or something like that. So Sri Prabhupada is not from this world, Guru Maharaj says, because just imagine at the age of 70, if it was anyone of a conditioned soul, cannot do this, what we have done, right? What he's a Senapati Nayak or a Mora Senapati Nayak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's empowered. He's empowered. So he's been sent by the Lord from the spiritual world so as to deliver all the conditioned souls. So such great acharyas, they don't fall down like us. No? So they have come for a specific purpose. So discussion of the spiritual worlds continues in the 21st sloka. Avyakto akshara iti uktas tam aho paramam gati yam prampyana nivartante thaddhama paramam mama. That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is not as a supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. So Krishna's abode, once you go there, no more coming back. And the Supreme Personality of God at Krishna is described in Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dham, that place, the supreme abode, which I just quoted that sloka, Chintamani Pragara Salpadu, Kalpa Vriksha. Okay, there's all touchstones, and there's Kalpa Vriksha, that's like desire tree. Desire tree means if you stand in, below the desire tree and ask for any kind of fruit, the tree gives. And Surabhi cows with limitless supply of milk, and hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or goddess of fortune is serving Krishna. So Lord is accustomed to blow his flute. Venum kanvantam aravinda dayala daksham barhavatam shamashitam buddha sundarangam kandarpakoti kamaniya vishesha shopam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So what is it color? His color is after the monsoon cloud, freshly formed monsoon cloud, and is attractive, that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids get attracted to Krishna. Okay, so that's how Krishna's beautiful form is mentioned, and he's like that in his eternal abode. So how to attain that abode, which is given in the sloka 22. Purusha sa para partha bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya yashyanta stani bhutani yena sarvam itam tatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attained by unallowed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he's all pervading, everything is situated within him. Okay, so Krishna is there everywhere, even in the atom. He is there as Paramatma in our heart. He is also in his Goloka abode. But how do we go that? By unalloyed devotion. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attained by devotional service. That is called Ananya Bhakti. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Okay, so no more coming back. And the Lord has spiritual, and the Lord is pervaded by spiritual and material energies. And Ananda Chinmerasa Pradipavitapis. That is, Krishna is in Goloka and he is there with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Okay, so the supreme abode of the Lord, the supreme of the Supreme Personality Godhead, the Lord resides in the supreme abode and has millions of planetary expansion. Okay, so Krishna means what? Krishna and his associates, or Krishna and his energies. And Bhaktya, how can we enter to Krishna's abode? Only by Bhakti, Bhaktya Mama Vichanati. So Krishna's abode is described in all the Upanishads, and also it is said, the analogy, the Vedas are compared to of the Lord like a tree bearing many flowers, fruits, and leaves. Similarly, the Lord expands to many planetary expansion. And Goloka Eva Nimishyatya Kalatma, the Lord, although resides in the supreme abode, he's all pervading. Okay, he's everywhere. Parasya Shakti Vividar Vasuyate. Supreme Lord, although residing far away, he conducts everything in the cosmic manifestation by his all pervading energy. Okay, so that's how Krishna pervades the whole universe. How he is there everywhere, still. Parasya Shakti Vividar Vasuyate. So his energy is expanded everywhere. I think this chapter has 28 slokas. We can finish this. Just few more slokas. We'll just finish this chapter so that we can go for the open book assessment. So 23 to 28 is about pure devotion, Bhakti, okay, the supremacy. 5 more slokas, we'll finish it up. So supremacy of pure devotion or Bhakti in attaining Krishna is mentioned here. Different times of death. That is 23rd sloka is Yatra kale tva anavrittim avrittim chaiva yogina prayata yati tam kalam vakshyami paradarshapa. So it says, O best of Bharatas, I shall now explain to you different times at which passing away from this world the yogi does or does not come back. Now this is for not for devotees. Okay, for devotee it doesn't matter which time, which day the body leaves the body, the soul leaves the body, because they are devotees and they always remembering Krishna. This is for yogis who are practicing. So here it is said, Krishna will explain now how it's passing away from this world. And how he doesn't return. Okay. However, devotee only needs to focus on the surrender and not on the exact time of passing away. So it doesn't matter. But then still it is said that if they leave the body at Brahma Muhurta or the Ekadashi day or in the Dham, it's definitely glorious. But then it really doesn't matter for a devotee. The unallied devotees of the Supreme Lord were totally surrendered. They do not care where they leave the body or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hands and so easily and happily return to Godhead. So even though a devotee doesn't remember Krishna, Krishna says, Aham smarami mad bhakta. Krishna will remember the devotees. Right? So can a yogi choose a time to leave? Yes, an expert yogi can choose. As I told you, that person who left, he was predicting that when he's going to leave. So he can. And if not expert in choosing, then it depends upon accident or destiny. And Kala mentioned refers to the presiding deity of time. Kalosmi, Krishna says. So Agnir Jyotir Aha Shukla Sanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidojanaha. So those who know the Supreme Brahman attaining the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light, that means in the light time if they go morning, at an auspicious moment of the day, okay, or during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. So these are the different criteria given. Our yogis, you can see here, at an auspicious time in the light, okay, waxing or animal, both jnanis and yogis. Where will they go? They go to Brahmajyoti, okay. And then darkness. In the night, if they leave the body, that is during smoke in Krishna Paksha or Dakshinayana, then for Karmis, they go to heaven. Who was waiting for Uttarayana? Leave the body.
Bhishma.
So he had Ichha Mrityu and he was waiting for Uttarayana. He was actually not waiting there. He was actually waiting for Krishna. No? So to see the Parthasarathi form of the Lord and go back. Okay. So these are the different ways the yogi leaves the body. It is said how a yogi leaves the body. Okay. Dumo Ratristata Krishna Sanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandram Sham Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The mystics who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of waning moon, or the 6 months when sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again come back. So they go and come back again. Shukla Krishnega Dihi Eta Jagata Sashvate Mate Ekaya yadi anavrittim anyaya vartate punaha. So according to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world. One is in the light, one is darkness. That is day and night. And when one passes in the light, does not come back. When one passes in the darkness, he returns. These are for the yogis. We don't have to completely concentrate on that part, but just know that they can even choose the time when they leave. Although liberation is the principle and path of no return in brahmachoti effulgence, jnani is likely to return due to lack of spiritual engagement. There is no sevananda, only brahmananda. So those fruity laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. So two ways of leaving the body, it is mentioned here. And the you can post attendance link. I don't have a breakout room today. So here in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni says that those who are expert in fruitive activities and sacrificial method on earth attain to the moon planet death. These elevated souls live in the moon for 10,000 years. That is their lifespan. And drinking somaras, they eventually return to earth. This means that on the moon, there are higher classes of living beings, although they may not be perceived by the gross senses. Even though we say there is no life in the moon, Shastra says there is, and the lifespan is 10,000 years. Okay, and they're highly elevated, but still they have to return to the earth. Shine Punya Martana Mishanti. So mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange a time and place to leave the body. The others, they don't have any control. So if by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, for a pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of return. Whether he leaves the body in an auspicious or inauspicious moment, or by accident or by arrangement. For a devotee, it doesn't really matter. Night race 3. Pata janan yogi mukhyati kashana tasma sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto babarjana. All the devotees know these two parts of Arjuna. They are never bewildered. Therefore, he is always fixed in devotion. A yogi is not bewildered. At the time of death, the mind carries one to new life. People in general must leave the body at a suitable time to be assured whether or not to return to the material world. But for a pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning. Whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment or by accident or arrangement doesn't matter. Okay. So path of underlying devotees like pure devotees can leave their body at any time, and for destination is Krishna Loka. And how do they stay absorbed in Krishna? The best way is to be absorbed is always devotee in his service. The best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always devotee in his service. This will make one's path to spiritual kingdom safe. The word yoga yukta is especially significant. One who is firm in yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. Rupa Goswami advises anasaktasya vishya yadhartham upayujyate. One should be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this system, yukta vairagya, one attains perfection. The last sloka of this chapter says, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phalam pratishtam attedi tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chatyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Okay, so how for a devotee, it doesn't matter all this. Path of devotional services taken care of everything. Everything else is taken care of. So you don't have to worry. So the path given in the Vedic literature, like brahmachari life, you have to do Vedic studies, go with the spiritual master, take shelter, and train celibacy and all that. And household life of grihasthas, again, sacrifice, charity should be done according to time-based person. And vanaprastha, severe penances, yes, living in the forest, dressing in tree bark and all. Sannyas, again, highly elevated stage. So all these stage, okay, whether one is further advanced or one get liberated in spiritual sky or not, some elevates to heavenly planets, okay, still can give us perfection by doing devotional service. The beauty of Krishna consciousness is that by one stroke of devotional service, one can surpass all rituals of different ashramas. So a grihastha also can go back, brahmachari, sannyasi, or vanaprastha, everybody can go back just by devotional service. So the word idam viditva indicates one should understand the instruction given by Krishna. One should try to understand this chapter not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. The first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters are covering the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. And if one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially the 6 middle chapters, that's Bhakti Yoga, in the association of devotees, his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penance, sacrifice, charities, and speculation. So one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, you can surpass all this. So it doesn't matter what time of the day or anywhere the devotees. But normally how the devotees leave the body is, they put tilak all over the body and there will be devotees around them chanting. Or Prabhupada's lecture, Prabhupada's kirtan is kept, and at least devotees keep praying, and that's how they leave if they are fortunate. Or else if they are in a sound body, still they themselves chant and they go back. So we have our 9 devotional services like Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, and Artha Nivritti. So here, starting point is little faith in Bhagavad Gita should be there, Ado Shraddha. Then Sadhu Sangha, you will be in association of devotees and you will have faith. Then Bhajana Kriya and Artha Nivritti, they will start serving in association of devotees and all the misgivings will go away. Then Nishtha, one become fixed in your study, Ruchi and Asakti. You start relishing the study of Krishna consciousness. They get Bhava and Prema, that's advanced stage of falling in love with Krishna, and transfer to Krishna's abode, eternal happiness. So what is the 2 stage before Shraddha? Did I tell that? There is a stage before Shraddha. What would be that? Before Shraddha. How do we get Shraddha or faith in Krishna?
By listening.
By practice.
By hearing Mataji.
Listening.
By hearing.
Okay. Maybe
Ruchi.
The Ruchi is later.
By Ajnata Sukriti or Purva Janma Sukriti. Bhakti.
Sukriti.
Ajnata
by Bhakti.
Sukriti. Like
by
how do you get that?
By Vaidhi sadhana only.
By
Vaidhi sadhana only, slowly we can get the Shraddha.
No, in order to do Vaidhi sadhana, you should have Shraddha, little bit faith, no? Then only you'll start chanting and follow the rules. Now, Ajnana Sukriti, yes, but how?
This one works on a faith, right? It's not like we have a faith in everybody, right? Little bit. Even when we take it,
not everybody has faith in Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, no?
Not no, our material world.
Huh?
Our material world works on
mercy.
Somebody said, what mercy? Mercy of?
Guru.
Vaishnavas. Yes, mercy of Vaishnavas. And how do we get the mercy of Vaishnavas? Just like that we won't get.
By serving them.
Serving them, very good. By serving. So, Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa. These are the 2 stages before Shraddha. Okay. So, how do we get faith in Krishna is Mahat Seva. First, Mahat Seva. You have to serve the devotees. Then, Seva. Once you start serving, they'll give Kripa. They'll give the mercy. Okay. Mercy of Vaishnavas. So, Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa. So, we can serve Vaishnavas. The best Vaishnava we have is Srila Prabhupada. We can serve Srila Prabhupada through his Vani, reading his books, preaching Krishna consciousness, and listening to his lectures and all that, distributing his book distribution, all kind of services which we do, and serving Vaishnavas. Then what happens? You start serving the Vaishnavas, you'll get the Kripa, you get the mercy. Once you get the mercy, this is mercy movement. Once you get the mercy, the faith increases. So the more and more, if our faith has to increase, we have to do more and more service. But some of them, they serve only Krishna. No, we have to serve Vaishnavas. They don't realize that. There's Kanishta Adhikaris. They just see Krishna in the deities and they know only Krishna. They neglect the devotees. No, that should not happen. We have to serve devotees also. Then only we'll have that complete faith. Okay. So we are done. Mausami Mataji, I didn't get the question. We know Brahma and they are all great devotees. Like a prime minister, chief minister, it's a position. It's not a person. If nobody becomes Brahma, then Vishnu himself becomes Brahma, it is said. So it's a position. So since they have material desires, they are still in this material world. Even though they are pure devotees, we have seen Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahma himself gets bewildered by the Lord, the Lord's Shakti. And also Indra, we know the Govardhan pastime and so many other pastimes. Indra is also bewildered. So they're all pure, they're also devotees, but they're completely not pure in the sense they have material desires, but definitely elevated than us because they are in heavenly planets. Okay. But what happens in heavenly planets is there's so much of enjoyment happening that sincere bhakti will not be done. So that's why this earthly planet is very, very fortunate to be in this earthly planet because you can do real devotional service and reach perfection here. There also you reach, but it takes a lot of time because the lifespan itself in heavenly planets is more, right? High. But definitely Krishna takes care of his devotees. So Brahma, Lord Indra, they are all definitely Krishna's devotees. And Krishna does pastimes with them. So, but even though they are in the heavenly planets, still they associate with Krishna because they are devotees of the Lord. But this is the problem that they're still in the material world. So it's not completely pure, Mataji. If it's completely pure, they would have gone back to Godhead. They've gone back to Krishna's world. So it can be pastime purpose also. Krishna wants to do some pastime. If Indra pastime didn't happen, then Krishna will never lift Govardhan. So that just for the pastime also, Krishna does all these. It's like a leela or a pastime to take pleasure and to give pleasure to his devotees. Krishna does that. But yes, once they are purified, definitely they go back. All of them will go back because they are devotees. Hare Krishna. Anything to add? So we are done. So please, Mataji, keep reminding me, even if I forget, that open book assessment will be shared soon by tomorrow. And then please write and submit the second module, open book. First open book. Okay. And start memorizing the slokas. Should I give all the important slokas or you want only 3? Any 3?
Mataji, the more you give, the more we will study, Mataji.
That's what. So but I don't want to challenge others, those who find sloka very difficult. And, just because of that, they quit the course and go. I don't want that to happen. So that's why I don't want to pressurize them. But yes, it is good in one way that if you have so many slokas, you'll remember all that and try to memorize. But what about others? I have to see the majority.
Mataji, we'll go with the Namanishtadas Prabhuji's suggestion. You said that he allows us little lenience and gives us less shlokas.
Yeah, that's what, as Prabhu said, because we